Hi all, Plantside Agent here. Today we're going to take a more in-depth look at the Pathfinder M40 stainless steel cook set, including some dimensions, some volumes, and also a boil test. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. I'll go over the dimensions first. Now I got these dimensions right off the box. Here they are. Anyway, the dimensions are it's 7 inches this way, 7 inches high, and 5 inches wide. And that also accounts for the pot holder handle. And in metrics, that's 178 millimeters by 178 by 127. The weight on this thing is 34 ounces. That's 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So this is definitely not for you lightweight backpackers. This isn't going to work for you. But it's stainless steel, so what do you expect? It's not titanium or aluminum. And that, again, that's 34 ounces, or that's 964 grams. Okay, go ahead and I want to pull it apart here real quick. Now we'll go into volumes. Sure I'm staying in frame here. I went ahead and filled this up to just about this line. Oops, I could see it. I don't know why you couldn't. Anyway, I filled it up to just about the bottom of this second groove out there. And I used, basically, as a judge, figured I didn't want to fill it up all the way to the top to where the water is actually touching the bottom of the lid. So that's going to be, so that's probably a pretty good maximum. I wouldn't go higher than that, just so you have a little head space there. But anyway, I measured that out, and that was 43 ounces, or that's 1.27 liters. Okay, I did want to see how the volume of the lid slash pan, and I filled up just about to this rivet here. Yeah, you can see that, the rivet line there, and that came out to 16 ounces, or 473 milliliters. So that's that's 2 cups of water just in the lid itself. Now the depth of the lid, I'll go ahead and measure that real quick. That looks like about 2 and 5/6/8. No 3/8. Okay. And then that would be about 600 milliliters. So that's the depth. And just for completeness, the depth of this is going to be about 5 1/8, or 130 millimeters. So there's your sizes, there's your volumes. Okay, next, you made a comment. You probably, if you watched my previous video, I kind of fiddled around with this second hook and this second indent. And I said that's so you can make a 3-point holder, so you can hold this thing so it doesn't, sway around. You got something to grab other than your bare hand or gloved hand to pour. Well, one guy said he couldn't get it to work, so he just cut it off. But it can be a little fiddly, but it does work. So you just need to get the end of the hook underneath this little bail here, and like I said, it can be a little bit fiddly. You have to kind of fiddle around with it, but just go ahead and make sure you get it in there enough that it's not going to pop out on you before you get going. And once that's in place, it works pretty good. I mean, this not fiddly at all, and you can use it to pour or get it. Oops, yeah, there you go. There's a test. Let's go ahead and open up the pot stands on this. And then this will sit in there nicely. So now you got a good handle on this. So like I said, it does work. it just can be a little fiddly. You just make sure you got it. Make sure it's good and secure before you fill this up with your soup or your hot water. Okay, let's see. I think that pretty much just kind of the dimensions and volumes and that sort of thing. So now I'm going to actually do a boil test, and I'm going to use Trangia on it. And before I get started, I cut out, you know, those yard signs that you get. The political yard signs are made out of this corrugated plastic. I use this. It's real handy for making little bases for alcohol stoves, just to keep them up off the ground. And then I'll use the cover them, put a little contact or rubber cement and glue aluminum on there to kind of help keep them from melting. Probably wouldn't, but I do it anyway. So anyway, to keep the alcohol burner up off the ground, because if the ground's cold, it could pull heat away from it, and you need to warm the alcohol burners up so that the fuel will vaporize, especially these Trangia types. So the fuel will vaporize, and if you're on the cold ground, it won't work as efficiently, especially if the outside temperature is cold. So I always like to have these. Also, it gives it a little bit wider brace, so if you're on uneven, if you've got it in the dirt, it'll probably be a little more stable. So, and I just cut this one out about the size of the bottom of the cutout for this. So, and just as a side note, if you wanted to store it, there is enough room with this yard sign stuff. If you pull this down, you can actually, if you fiddle around, it will fit. There you go. It'll fit up under here a little ways, and then you can set this down and this down. It'll go all the way down, and now it'll kind of hold it in there. So then you can put it in a bag or whatever you're going to do. So anyway, so I'm going to use that for the boil test on the Trangia. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the pot up with 2 cups of water, and then get to we can run the boil test. So I'll get right back. Oh, before we get all watered up here and mess, I did want to point out that when I do build this kit up to make a cook set out of it, I'm going to use a Trangia, or you could also use one of the knockoffs. But this is going to fit inside a lot better than that great big army version that comes with the Swedish Mess Kit. As you can see, it just nests right there in the corner. So that'll give you more room for putting other stuff in the pot. And I do have an extra one of these bottles, but I probably won't use it since it's kind of high, and you usually have to tip it to make it work. So I might just go ahead and get some smaller, maybe 2 or 4 ounce bottles, and also them being round, they'll kind of fit a little tighter in there, so you get more of your cooking utensils and stuff in there. So it's just a side note. Eventually I will build this up as a full cook kit, and when I do, I'll do a video on that. No guarantee on when that's going to happen, but that's my plan. Okay, I got 2 cups of, or 473 milliliters of 52-degree water set up. Got the Trangia all fueled up, so we'll go ahead and fire that up. Another note, the pot does not come with internal markings like some pots do, but the original didn't either. So I guess if you're going to try to find out inside volumes, you probably have to get like make a measuring stick, or maybe take your spoon and maybe file little nicks in it for different heights for your own usage, so you get the right volumes. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll fire this up and see how long it takes to boil 2 cups of water with this thing. And say on these Swedish style pot stands, they have the big hole so that you could just light your stove and then just set this over the top of it, rather than trying to get your hand down in there with these obstructions. Okay, I'm going to give it just a second to start to bloom. Sounds like it's 1, 2. Yeah, it's cool today. It's about 52 inside the garage. Yep, sounds like it's starting to bloom. So anyway, we'll go ahead and set this on. Like I said, you can hold it quite nicely to get it on. There you go. We got it on. Start the timer. Okay, now you can go ahead and put your lid, fry pan on as a lid, and we'll go ahead and wait and see how long it's going to take to boil 2 cups of water. So I'm going to turn this off for a second and bring it around so you can kind of look at the flame pattern. Okay, there you go. Trangia doing its Trangia thing. Looks good. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to come to a boil, say we're at 5 minutes in, 166 degrees. After it comes up to boil, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water to the lid or the little pan here, and I'll put the temperature gauge in there, and you kind of see how much how hot it gets just from the double boiler effect. So, you know, you could be boiling up a pot of noodles, and then you could throw in your Italian sausage or whatever, and then maybe some marinara sauce to make a spaghetti, or you know, you could use the upper part to heat something up. So I think it would be kind of nice is if it had a lid, kind of like I've seen some titanium mess kit type things that actually will come with a lid for the pan, so it'll either work on the big pot or it'll also work on this, which would be nice. I'm tempted just to go down to the dollar store and get a cheap stainless steel baking sheet, and then maybe cut that out and see how my metalworking skills to see if I can beat down an edge to make a lid for this. So that's something I've been thinking about. If I do, I'll make a video, but like again, no guarantee when that will come up. Oh, hey, we're getting close. We're up to 200 degrees and 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So I'm just going to let this continue on until we get to the boil. Yeah, you can hear it roaring inside. At least I can. I don't know if you can or not. Let me get a rag here. I don't think that's not too hot. Oh, that's good. Yeah, up to 10. Yeah, looks like we're just about there. Okay, 7 minutes and 12 seconds to boil 2 cups of water. That's pretty much respectable time for a alcohol burner. So now what I'm going to do is going to pull the probe out. I can do it without causing a disaster here. Let that cool a sec. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of water in the lid. That's quite a bit. Probably good enough. I'm not going to measure it out. And let me see, the probe's down to 89 degrees, so we'll put it in here. Let's see how hot it gets while the water boils in the bottom. Of course, if you're doing this kind of cooking and you needed exactly 2 cups and you wanted to use that heat to heat up the top, be sure and add a little bit more water so you don't boil off your cup. Of course, oftentimes with cooking you don't need to, you know, scientifically accurate measurements. Usually close enough is good enough. So as you can see, we're coming back up. So I'm going to let this run a little bit to see how high it gets, but I won't bore you with just letting the camera run. Okay, the pot's been boiling, cooking here for about 12 minutes now, and we're up to 197, 96. It's looking like it wants to kind of get up toward 200 degrees. So, you know, that's a respectable heat for probably most of your cooking needs. So that you can cook on the top with as a double boiler. So anyway, one last thing I want to do, I'm going to pull this off. Set this aside. I'm going to pull the lid off. I can do this without spilling water. It's starting to warm up a little bit. So we can pull this off, set it aside. Okay, now I just wanted to show you that the pan will fit. A little snug. And you got to kind of work it in a little bit. The rivets kind of get in the way. But you can get it back on. Anyway, that's just another option. You can just use the fry pan by itself, or you can use it as a double boiler and the lid. But, you know, I think it's a little snug there, And if you're going to be doing this, as you can see on the fit, I don't know if you can really tell or not, but ouch, whew, it's getting hot there. Use gloves anyway. Yeah, I think you might need to file this down a little bit on the side just so you have a little more of a gap. You know, file the pot stand down. See if we can get this out without causing a disaster. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut all this down so I can concentrate on one thing. Okay, I got her all shut down. That's kind of a snug fit, and I think also, you know, when I put it on cold, it felt a little better, but so when it heated up, you know, I think the pan expanded, which made it even a little more snug. So I think before you wanted to use this pan on the burner, probably same here, is, you know, you might want to get some pliers or something and maybe flare these out a little bit, or maybe file them down. It's a snug fit, and you know, a little post-op work on it might be a good idea, just so things will run smoother for you. So imagine if you wanted a finely piece where everything fit lickety slit, it would probably cost you a lot more than than we paid for this one. But you know, overall, it does work. It's a nice kit. I like it. I thought it'd be cool. That's why I bought it. So if you like it, then go ahead. If not, then no big deal. So that's your boil and sizing test. My next video is going to be a comparison between this kit and the Swedish M40 kit. No guarantee when that's coming out, so stay tuned. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.